That's ridiculous. Hello, hello, hello. Hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. Well, hello. Yes. It is always a pleasure to be in any of your presence because I get the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with my second family, and I freaking love it because it is exactly what I need. I don't know why it's not the whole screen or what I can do about that. Let me see if I press a button to fix it. No. Uh, let's see if that works. I hope so. There we go. Hello. I'm all in y'all's face and stuff. Yes, yes, yes. As a moderator, you can make changes. Thank you. That's what I wanted to be able to do. I want to be able to comment to you all, and definitely I want to be able to see. Yes. So yes. So hey, loves. So exciting. Yes, yes, it is. All right. It is because it's been a long time, and it's been such a long time that I'm not sorry it's been a long time. I worked for quite a few years before, I actually got the opportunity to take a break, and I got pregnant in order to take a break. But hey, Tracy, I am doing well. I hope that you are, because today we're going to be talking about something absolutely my favorite. My favorite is storytelling. That is what I do. That's what I'm here for. And it has been a while since I had the opportunity to be able to share a little bit of story with you all. Some of you all have no idea how one day I announced that I was pregnant. Some of you all, have no idea, like the story behind some of the things as entrepreneurs that I've had the opportunity to be a part of, things I've experienced, and more importantly, the things that have helped me grow my business and to continue to have it grow while I've been off for 2 years, and to be able to jump back in. Well, not literally jump back in. It's taken me 5 months or so to jump back in, but it has been a wonderful. Hey, Tanya, it is a pleasure to see you. Thank you. I am feeling just as beautiful as you tell me that I am. Now, 2 days ago, I was not feeling beautiful, and that is really what I want to talk about today. We are going to combine a few things, and I'm going to share with you how to make your social media make sense. How do you start sharing videos? How do you start making reels? How do you start taking your small business idea that is beautiful and turning it into an actual brand and a business? How do you get there? Like how? Well, look. I'm going to share with you a whole bunch of things over the next few weeks. I need you to always have a pen and paper. I need you to be ready. I need you to press the follow button. I need you to also take a moment and tag 5 other entrepreneurs, other social media people who are out here doing their thing, but you would love to hear more about their story, or they have a story to tell and they are not using it. Because here is the deal. You may not realize it, but your story is your secret weapon. It is the thing that you have that nobody else has ever experienced. Your story is a part of you that is something bigger and better and bolder than anything that anybody else can ever have. And it is going to differentiate you between everybody else. It is going to break you between the difference between you and anybody else. It doesn't matter whether you sell Mary Kay, whether you sell your own products, whether you have lotion, whether you sell Stanleys. I know it does not matter. Whatever it is, I do want you to know that whatever your small business is, it can be big business, because that is what business is doing now. What business is doing is it is taking women who have small businesses, who have children at home, and it is allowing them to be at home making 6 figures. But it is not easy. And when you get started, you don't know how to get started. So I'm going to get started for you. The first thing that we're going to do, we're going to get right into it, is the instant story crafting formula. It is S.O.A.R. It is super easy to get started with. And I am going to put them down here for us so that we have them. Look, So first thing first is whatever the situation is, you need to tell them what the situation is, captivate them, make sure that they know what it is that they're going to talk about. Like today, we are going to talk about your story. We are going to talk about how powerful and unique your one story. Everyone has someone that they follow that they love, and you know what? You know their story. And it is imperative that the people who buy your products, that the people who you talk to on social media every day, it is important for them to know your experience, because this is what happens when you get to a place where you start to tell them about the situations that you're experiencing, but you tell it to them correctly. And that is a starting point where you get the ability to captivate them and get them to where you want them to be. And for me today, what we're going to do is I'm going to use myself as an example, because I'm going to share with you how a little bit about my story. For example, today we're going to talk a little bit about my little one, and I don't talk about her very often because it is very important to be as private as possible in a situation that is very, very, very new to us. But what I will share with you today is that I spent 8 years trying to have a baby on and off. And one of the situations that coming up is no matter what I was going through in my business, no matter what I was going through, like in terms of like lifing, in the background, I was always trying to have a baby, right? So when I was building my business, even there are times when I was in college and we were trying, there were so many different situations. And every time I got to a place where I would be good doing one thing, in the background, when I was trying to have a baby, it would be so devastating when it wouldn't happen that it would take me down for days, for weeks. And so one of the things I want you to remember is when you are sharing your story, the parts that brought you down, that took you down to the ground, they are parts that are important. But I want you to remember that you can't stand inside of those, and you can't stand inside of those when you are sharing your story too long, because if you keep them sad and down, that's not where people want to be. Now some people do, they want that experience, but not when you're trying to sell a product. So what you need to do when you are ready to get this side business going, you need to know this is going to be an income that can absolutely pay you $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 per month, depending on how much time and effort you put into it. But you can create something that's so simple, you don't even have to get in front of the camera anymore. There are ways for you to just voice over. There are ways for you to use somebody else's voice. All you have to do is solve a problem. And once you get to a place where you were in a situation and you know you were in a situation, part of your brand is to show people that you were in a situation and you had an obstacle. And for me, my obstacle, in my own opinion, was always myself, was always my own self-doubt, was always my own imposter syndrome. It was always me that was the problem. I was the problem when I needed to face something and I would stay busy instead of facing the thing, and then the thing would come up, and then it would force me to have more time away from the things that were important for me. And so I know that I was the obstacle. And what I notice in most entrepreneurs is that is always where I start, because you don't realize how much you're not starting and doing what you want to do because there are things inside of you that you are terrified about. You're terrified about how people may see you, whether things are exactly the way you want them to be, whether people are going to see you exactly the way you want them to see you, or whether they'll judge you. Even if we say we don't care, there is a space where we care. Okay. And instead of having this stone space where I don't care, nothing bothers me, you can if that's what you choose to do. But there is an easier way. And that space is giving yourself the grace to start exactly where you are, to not have everything perfect. I'm not even in my regular office recording today. I don't have my regular lighting. I don't, I'm not at my regular desk. nothing today, but it is on my schedule to record today. So this is what I had to do. And so, excuse me, when you're at that place where you are at an obstacle, you need to stop sleeping on yourself. And you need to write down, what are those obstacles that I've gotten past? What are those things that I have gotten through? Hey, Natasha. And when you get to a place where you're like, you know what? I know what the obstacles are that I have gotten past, and you write them down. I know what the, hey, Queena, I know what the obstacles are that I've gotten through, and you write them down. And you get to a place where you're like, you know what? These are the action steps. See, once you get to that place where you've been there, you've got it, you know what you need to do to get out of that place. That is what your audience want to tune in for. Because for me, my action steps had to be really, really sincere. My action steps for me required that I healed wounds that were from, I healed wounds from back when I was 5 years old and 7 years old and 9 years old. And take a moment, tag 5 women that you know right now, especially 5 women in business, and share this out right now. Please take a moment and share this out. I would really appreciate it. But when you're in a place where you are trying to get to a new place, you got to start writing down and say, hey, girl, this is what I'm doing. Look at me. If you write it down and you say, these are the steps that I took, then when you get to a place where you see results, or more importantly, when you've seen results, those are the stories that you use to build your business. Because all you need are these 4 elements. And once you get to a simple place where you have a simple rhythm, where you go back into the stories of your life and you say, you know what? This resonates with some of the things that I've done. And the only way to figure that out most of the time is for you to know certain things about yourself, certain things about business. And the reason why you cannot have a business nowadays without also making sure to create a brand image, because everybody is competing. There's so much competition. How do you get heard amongst everyone else? And for me, you start with the power of your authenticity. See, if you are as close to who you are, as close to who you have decided, this is what it is that I am, and you get close to her and you say, authenticity is what I want, and you start digging in that space, that's your superpower. That is what is going to make your story soar. You see, online space, you know, it's saturated, you know, it has so much, but what it doesn't have, what it does not have is you. What it does not have is your story, your experience. It's what you've been through. Literally, if people knew how important their stories were, or how easy they could sell anything sitting in front of the camera while just sharing your story, how it can change everything. The power of your authenticity is the difference between whether people are going to stay, because you reveal your vulnerability. And for me, when I was in a space where I was constantly building my business and constantly in the background of my life feeling like a failure because I couldn't figure out why my body was not willing to have a baby, it was the most devastating thing ever. And what I had to learn was I had to learn what is actually moving me every day. How can I incorporate what I'm doing in my life and myself with my business to make sure that I'm staying true to myself, true to my business, and staying in alignment. And when I'm not in alignment, whether it's in business or work, or myself or home, I know something's off. And I started from the beginning, which is your core values. And it is so important that you know your own core values. This is how important it is. It's so important that when I started business school, the very first thing that we learned about was our core values and what we needed to be as far as ethically. And it's the first thing that you learn. You learn your ethics in college. And I thought this was a wonderful place to be, was to learn my ethics. But it was deeper than that. It's not that they wanted to learn my ethics, but it was more important than that. It's the first thing that you do in business. When you start your business plan, it's going to ask you, what is your why? It's going to ask you for your core values. And the reason why is because every day you need to be in alignment with what it is that you are actually doing, why you you are talking about the things that you are talking about. And for me, it is the S.O.A.R. It is something I've carried with me for the last, it's 16 years. It has changed a little bit, but my core values are self-awareness, alignment, consistency, confidence, and knowledge. So every time you see a post on my social media, I usually 85% of the time it is talking about me being self-aware about where I am failing and my own personal awareness and where I want to do better. I am talking about me not being in alignment or me being in alignment and what I'm doing to get there. I am talking about my consistency. I love counting. You've watched me count days so many times with so many things I've done to be consistent with. Right now, I'm in the middle of a 75 solve challenge, a hula hoop challenge, anything to keep me consistent and moving so that I don't accidentally gain 100 pounds again like I've been in the past. Confidence. You always hear me talk about me telling you how amazing you are because your confidence is the difference between where you are now and where the hell you want to be. And knowledge. Every day, listen, I read 10 pages every day, and I have been reading 10 pages every day for about 30 days. But honestly, in my life, I read every single day. If you were to do a circle around, you see that there are books here. There's a whole bookshelf here. I actually use these books as references when I write my social media, which is pre-written. What we're talking about today, pre-written. Okay, like knowledge is so much power. So what I always share with you all is the knowledge that I gain on how to grow my business with you, because these things, if you take these things back with you, I promise you're going to get to where you need to be. It's karma. Hey, karma. I love you. 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 And so, listen, it is so important that you know and learn what are your core values, because when you get to that place, you tap into the thing that people want from you, and that is emotional resonance. And I'm going to tell you, listen, when people tap in and they say, you know what? She knows what I'm talking about. She knows what I'm feeling. She knows what I'm going through. She understands. Honey, you could sell old fingernails and they would be like, yo, my girl sells old fingernails. It's her. If you're interested, hit her up, because it would not matter, because that is how deeply they are willing to be in connection with you. When you get to a place where you resonate, when people are like, you know what? She understands. It's beyond facts. It's beyond figures. People remember how you make them feel and how it relates to them. And that is important. People are buying who you are and your why, not what you're selling. Okay. And so there are 3 ways, and I just want to share these 3 actionable steps, things that you can start doing inside of your videos right now. Well, one, if you go to any of my websites, which is just the one, it will give you the option for you to have $1. I think it's, yes, it's $1. It is copy and paste stories for you to just literally copy and paste inside of whatever it is that you're doing and get a quick start on whatever it is that you're doing, whether you want to start selling something, being more seen, being an influencer and actually making money on some of the sites, actually learning what it means to make $1,000 just by doing what you do every day. You just do it in a better and more specific way. If you really want to do that, all you have to do is tap in and tune in, because if you are ready to get to that place where you're like, yes, I've tapped into that emotional resonance with my clients. I've tapped into with people and what they need and what they want to talk to me about. I've gotten to that place, and you do these 3 things, and I'm going to share these 3 things with you. Then these 3 things, they are going to get you where you need to be in your videos, and especially if you want to do videos, especially if you are trying to grow your social media. And the best way right now is video content, and it's super easy. Like, you could get to a place where you can only spend 5 minutes per video. Sometimes I do my videos in batches. If I do an hour of recording, I may get 8 to 12 videos out of that recording. And I can definitely teach you how to do that. But the 3 things that you're going to do is, 1, you're going to share a personal story, not your whole personal story. This is important. You're going to share a personal story. And you're going to share that personal story over a period of time. And while you're over that period of time, you're going to do number two, which is be consistent. So tell them you're going to share that one story over 7 days and show up over those 7 days and let them know what it is that you've been through and what you've learned. And when you get to a place where you are engaging, sharing, you're not preaching, you're not mamaing them, you're showing them that this is how I did it and this is why I did it. That is all that you need to get to the place that you need to be. There's nothing else better than taking your story and learning how to share it, why to share it, and the way to share it. And I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I thank you guys for being here with me today. Love this video. Please share this video. Please share this video in the group if it's permitted with women who are entrepreneurs. I love you all, and we will be here every few days. We're probably going to be live about every day. We're going to figure out times, things like that. But listen, this has been great, and I'm going to see y'all soon. I love you all. Let your light shine.